Hey guys, Marc here. All right, so today I'm going to work on a vertical canvas, and I'm going to paint sort of like a moonshine scene, Florida moonshine scene, the moon and some palm trees and some reflections in the water, and see where it takes us. So I'm going to take lamp black and Prussian blue. I'm going to start in the corners because that's where I want the picture to be darkest. Start in the corners. And I already have white on the canvas. Thin layer of thin white. And I'm going to make them darker in the corners. And I'm going to start to pull in some dark here. I want the moon about here. Let me think now. Yeah, like right around there. So I know I want it lightest right here. So I'm not going to put too much paint right under where the moon's going to be. I'm going to sort of go around it. Sort of leave a spot that's sort of open there. Right directly where the moon will be. Oops. So that kind of moves around on me. Push this down a little bit more. Move. Just tapping into some black and blue. Starting in the corners, pulling it in, not from the middle out. Leaving some dark, some light in the middle there. Going back up to the top. In the corners, let it sort of work down. Let it get a little lighter as it gets down to where the moon's going to be. The horizon's going to be about right there. Sort of pull in a little line just to remind me where that is. I'll let it get a little bit lighter as it gets down to where the moon is, but not too much lighter because I still want to be able to create like a glow effect. And a little bit more paint. Come down. Bring the water up more. Keep the line straight across. That'll look like a glow across there. Just keep pulling this down. Go over where the moon will be directly. Let that work itself into the water. Now, I just would have to make a decision. Do I want the corners darker? Let's say a little bit darker, maybe. Maybe a little bit darker in the corners. Take a little bit more blue and black. Tap it into the 1.5 inch brush. Start in the corners and go down and go through. See how I got that a little bit darker? A couple shades darker, a little bit more blue there. A little blue there instead of black, just to give a little bit of variety. To match the sky, I'll make the water darker in the corners. Across there, and can't see that. Lizard ear. Hello, how are you? Thanks for coming on. Like that. Now, I think I want a little bit darker. I could have used a black canvas too. That was another thing I might have been able to do. I think I want a little bit darker over here, because the darker the corners are going to be, the brighter the highlight will be where the moon is. That's what I'm trying to get. All right, so let me wash the brush completely. Get towels. Get the brush completely dry and clean. Blue is a hard color to get out of a brush. So let me do it one more time. It's a very staining color. Now one more time. Get it in there. Now instead of, I think what I want to do is I want to go across in the water there. Just going to pull that together a little bit straighter. Get that brush basically clean. It's hard to get exactly clean, but mostly clean. I'm more concerned about getting the paint thinner out of the brush, because that could make the paint run. Completely dry. Now, I'm going to start on the top, go straight across, right over that white area there. Like that. That sort of pulls that together a little bit better. That's some water there, so it's straight, flat. Now, I'm going to take a fan brush. Figure out where the moon is. Just tap it into, this is a number 6 fan brush. Tap it into some white. And I want the moon right above where this light is. I go in and just use figure X strokes. And go outward from there. But I will glow right where that moon is. And I can wash that brush. Wash that brush. Good and clean and dry. Linda, hello. I have an air conditioner on behind me. It comes on sometimes. Now I can either put white straight now, or I can blend that area first. I think I'll blend it. I don't know. Blend it first. The problem is I'm going to have to clean the brush to get to it. So I probably should have a couple other brushes just for blending. Get that brush clean and dry. Start right in the middle, blend outward from the middle. Don't go in. Always work out. Take the fan brush. I'm going to add some thin white to it just to get a little bit more of a glow on there. It's warm out here today, so it's having a little bit of trouble sticking in there. So I'm going to take one thing of white, just go down where this is. Just a little bit of white in the water. Brush clean. I'll go back into the sky and put some white in the sky. That in the sky. A little more liquidy white in there. Take a thin white, go right into where the moon's going to be. Just work it in, work it outward. See how it's sticking a little bit better now because I had a little bit of clean white instead of just thick white. Now you have to sort of decide how many times you want to do this. Every time you have to go back and wash the brush. Clean the brush. Good and clean, good and dry. And right here, sort of go across with it. Sort of work it in there. Like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of worked in there. Not to hold it blend, just stick there. You don't have to over blend it. We'll work it in. Back into the middle up here. A light touch and work it in. Just go around, so I'll work it in there. Keep cleaning the brush if you have to. That way, if you need to, whatever you have to do correctly. It's up to you how much you want to blend it. You have to blend it too much or a lot. It's up to you. See, my brush is wet a little bit, so I got to go back with a clean rod. Dry is important. I have to constantly wipe it on a big towel. In the middle. Work out. Never coming in, always out. I'm this guy. Let's try to get a little bit brighter. One level brighter. It's a little bit too dark. What are you guys doing today? Everything going well? Happy Monday. The thin white, the thick white. A lot of paint on the brush. Line right here. Right above the moon is, go in there and work out. Not coming in the middle. That's good. Now we get the large brush cleaning. Sorry, you guys have to watch me wash brushes every. It has to be good and dry. That's why I'm wiping it so much, because it will just mess it all up. Yeah, a couple. Down a little bit. Just gonna walk it down a little bit. Into the middle here. Work out, work out. Yeah, you wipe it one more time, wash it because it's a little bit not blended enough in the center. This will go work. To do this, we'll get there. That's good and clean and dry. Go right in here. Just work it up. Just clear sinker outside. Light touch. Try not to go too much in the middle, right? Keep the brush clean when you don't touch. Right, loose light over there. That gives us a little bit of blend in there. Fast little stroke, going from light to dark. Yep. All right, so we got that done. That was pretty hard. It's warm out here. I'm working. Florida. Okay, I'm gonna take my finger. Some white right on there. There's a loader on the glove. Well, above here, like a round. Try to keep it roundish. Right, now I got it bigger than I wanted, and I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend it out. Blend it out and start again. Because I don't like the size of that move. Right over it. Yeah, see how you fix a mistake? Right over it and start again. Plus I use paint a little bit too thin, so let me go into the thicker paint. Right here, and a small one. So a bit smaller. Good, blend over it, and then just leave it alone. I think I'll blend over it. You can take a palette knife, go fast, that. I got some paint right there. Let's get that screwed away. Bottom of my knife. I got some blue paint. A little light over it and see if that's okay. Yep, kind of messed it up. I could just leave it like that, maybe. Make it sort of like a misty moon. Should I leave it like that? Fix the bottom of it. I just leave it and call it a misty moon. That's what I'll name the painting, Misty Moon. It'll be a nice name. What do you guys think? Pretty good so far? All right, now I want to put a little bit of a purple, purpleness in the background. A little hills in the background there. So I could put the water nice and bright now, but I think I'll leave it till the end, make it really bright. I'm going to take some black, some blue, some crimson, a little bit of white. Like a crimson-y color. A little bit of white into the hill, and the distance is going to have more white on it. I'll make it look far away. And I know I want my horizon. Let me think. I want it going this way because I want the. Let me think how I want to do it. I want it going this way. I want the big tree over here. It's a silhouette, so it's going to be kind of dark, but not too dark. So I'm going to put a little hill here way in the background. So stop about right there. I'll pull a little bit of it down just to give a little reflection. Like that. And I'll wash the brush. I can use the fan brushes for the reflection. Wash the brush. This painting will be available if anybody's interested. I'll have it up on my website later. If you guys want to purchase it now, you're welcome to try to buy it now if you want. Just send me a message. This is way in the distance, so I'm probably not going to put any palm trees on it or anything. Just pull it down straight. Fill it out a little bit. And so when I go this way. So the brush is clean. Like a little whisper across that. That's the far away hill back there. Now I'm going to put a little closer one. Same color, but a little bit darker. Just a couple values darker. Test it to see if it's a little bit darker than what's on there. Yes, it is. Maybe a little bit darker than that. This one I'll probably have to put some palm trees on and make it look like Florida. These will be a little darker because it's not going to show up against the yellow on there. This be distinctly darker, show up against the yellow. Down out there. I want the hill's too big because that's not going to look like Florida with gigantic mountainy hills. Right to there. Pull it down. Now I want to be able to. I don't like the shape of that. I'm kind of pull it down that way more. I want it too dark, but it is a silhouette, so it's pretty dark. Get things on the top of straight. All right, now I'm gonna pull down here. Down right here. Same height as the top. let these dark reflections overlap the lighter reflections in the background. Bring it down to where it stops. Like that. Let's sort of taper straight there. Brush the brush. This brush getting clean. I gotta go through an entire roll of paper towels here to get through the thing. I could even take the large brush instead of doing all that. I could just go right in here. Just give a tiny little straight line there. And just give it a quick little line. Pull it back a little because we don't know how far over it's going to go there. Pull it down a little bit there. So we have hills like way in the distance. Right in here, I hit it with a little bit of paint there, so I need to go back and clean it up. I kind of messed that up a little bit there. This brush wasn't completely clean, as it should be. I have to keep looking over here. See who's talking to me? This brush is way dry. Make it look good there. Make it look nice there. Straight across. Down. Straight across. Probably going to be covered by, I'm going to put a couple palm trees over here, so not going to really matter too much. Now I'm going to take that same color I just had with that purple. And first of all, I'm going to put a couple water lines so we can get this here. Just sort of separate the land from the water right there. Even though these water lines are way back, you can stand to be a little bit bright because reflecting the moon is going to have a little bit of brightness. All right, so that's that part. Now I'm going to take the same color of that, a little bit of green into it. Maybe some brown too. Just a little bit of brown. I got my dark colors in it though. And we're going to, there's going to be some trees here, a couple of palm trees sticking up here. Get a big clump of trees over here. Use my, I'm going to drop a couple of brushes I'm working. Use this brush here. Sort of an overly brush. Same colors, with brown and some green into it. Use this as my dark color. Just has a twinge of green just to give the feeling of trees. Notes of silhouette. And I'm thinking maybe it's going to come down a lot here. There's a little bit too much blue. A little bit black. I like that color right there. It looks a little bit better. A little bit more brown, I think it was. I'm starting at the bottom and working up. And that in right there. Yeah, now it's going to come out. Just kind of look at my perspective. Come out to about here. I'm working up, so it's nice and dark on the bottom, make it a little lighter as we go up. And so it hangs down in Florida, it looks like. Put it inside. How high I want it, maybe a little wider, a little higher. But that's how I want it. Now I wouldn't want to put it on the same plane as the movie. It's got one stack of it. Maybe like that. Right here, I want it to hang down more. So you can see those branches sort of coming down out there. And over here is where it hang down a little bit more. We got some down there, straight down. It's a large brush, pull it across. A little bit of a wiggle in there. Of water, straight across. Back with some dark color. Put a little bit of a plane in front of that, so it's like it kind of pushes that back a little. Filled in over the arts. Like that. Large brush. Just grab it and pull it down. I try to match what's on there. So yes, so I went out a little bit too far with the reflection, so I'm going to match it with the whole head at the top. Okay, so that gives us that. Now, I've been liking putting in tree trunks just with the palette knife, sort of scratch it in there. It's kind of a fun way to do it. Pull out some things there. Detail there. You go over a couple of them, so they're not all showing. Bring them up a little bit. Because you're going to have branches in front of the house. Okay, so now I want to grab my belt knife. Line in there. I need a new plate. And let me go grab a towel so I can wipe my face for a second. I might even put a brighter highlight on the water itself. A little thin white. So we're cutting a couple water to see the edge. Up a water line on the edge here. This one's a little bit bright here. Kind of wipe it out a little bit. Knock that one down a little bit. Cut in a couple of sticks or whatever in here. Still doesn't look like a flower. This means I have to put a palm tree in. I need to get to that at some point. I would say, let's take, actually, let me do this side first and decide where I want the palm trees. Then I can sort of lay out the palm trees a little bit better. I'll have a better idea how I can balance the painting. We're going to take some black, blue, brown, green, red. Figure out how much left trees to go over here. A lot of paint, nice and dark. It's pretty dark silver. That's it. Some people use just straight black for this. I like to add a little bit of color to it just to kind of give it a feel of little color to it, so it's not complete monochrome. Oh. Place a little bit more green like that. Just tap it in. So decide where you want these bushes and whatever to be. That all filled in there. Try not to let the brush slide like I just did. That looks like that's screwed. I want these when I hang it over, so that I come straight down with it. Make sure I have more paint with brush here. A lot of paint in the brush. Drop it, so it's going to hang more. It has sort of like a mossy feel to it. Keep that a little bit of mossiness. Pretty good contrast right in there. That's pretty nice right there. Kill that whole area there. I just want to sort of stagger it a little bit so the stuff just come out there like that. So that kind of looks good there. Now that's a little bit too in there. I want to kind of pull it out a little bit more. Bring it out more here. It's to be a little bit of a bigger tree hanging down there. Coming together, coming together. Yeah, like I said, at some point I need to put some palm trees in. I'm going to call it Florida. Okay, so now it's out a little bit more. So now I want to pull some. This needs to be over a little bit more because I see a little bit too much light there. You can fix the background just by adding trees and whatever. Yeah. Looks really nice there too. I like that part there. I'll mess it up. That's a nice little spot right there. All right, so now I'm going to take my pivot knife. And I think Not in here under this moon. A couple white ones there. Highlights on the water. Try to straighten them out a little bit so I'm not kind of moving around so much. Straight across. A little bit brighter at the bottom. Let me look and see what that looks like from beyond. See, there's a little bit of light right here, break that line up right there. Over here, it needs to be a little wider this way. All right, that's pretty good. Now, on our agenda next, I'm going to take a fan brush, paint there, one of that dark color. And so I'm going to pull down, make it look like some moss growing up in there. Pretty good amount of paint in there, so it flows downward. I like that area right there. I don't want to mess that up. Just leave it alone there. And in there. Don't overwork that. Not deep. I think in here I want there to be a little bit of a path back in there. I'm going to take a little bit of white, but not one that you can really see very well, just sort of like in there. Like you can barely see it back in there. Take some white. I just want to figure out where I want it and go across. It's good if it's not too bright, so just make it look like a little bit of a path going back there. Maybe out here is going to be a little bit more highlighted. That motion there. I'll go back into my other brush. I'm going to go around it, so push it down into the painting. Just a little bit of a hint of that in there. Now we need to put in a couple palm trees, don't we? A couple palm trees. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. I think I need a couple, or maybe just one right here. I don't know. Sort of decide. Get this brush clean. So what's easy about this painting, it's a silhouette, so you don't have to worry about highlights too much. That's what helps us in this one. So I would say one right here. A lot of black on the fan brush. Let's figure out where I want our tree to be. It's going to be right here. So I'm going to go. Let it kind of come right there. And we have, let me see, that's going to come down here like that. And now this way. A little bit bigger. Palm trees, a little bit more darkness inside here. I get that palm tree looking good. Too much. All right, so I think this painting's just about done, actually. I don't think I need to do too much more to it. What do you guys think? A little signature there on the bottom, and all done, actually. I'm just going to put a couple palm trees over here, but I think I'll just leave it like I think it looks pretty good. White lines over here, so I'll break this up a little bit here. Alright, so I'm going to take some white, a little gray, take my laundry brush. You know what I forgot? A couple birds up in the sky. Anyway. A couple birds on this house. Here. I like far away birds. Supposed to those birds. easier to paint. You can stretch the wing out there a little. All right, number two, a little bit of white. A little bit of paint thinner, a little black, so it's not completely white. If you have any ideas what I should name this paint, feel free to put them in the comments. Sometimes the paint gets a little bit too thick on the brush, so you have to add a little bit of paint there. A little bit of paint thinner up here. Let's see the tear on here. This will be a smallish signature. There we go. Put a date on there and we'll be good to go. 25 right over here. We're out of room on that side. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. I'll have it up on my website if anybody's interested in purchasing. See you guys next time.